and will remain now an irrevocable member of the euro. Are you confident that's now the case?
Well, it's still very difficult for Greece because this program is a very tough program, as we know, and also it looks like the conditions for the application of the program are becoming very tough. For instance, the money which was for the recapitalization of the banks will remain not in Greece but in the hands of the creditors, and it will be, given to Greece under very specific circumstances. We don't know yet which ones. So it's difficult, but of course it's something. For the time being, it was the only solution.
You mentioned that the conditions are tough and difficult. They're obviously too tough for some members of the party to stomach. We know 31 Syriza MPs voted against it, 11 abstentions. Does that now make an election inevitable?
It looks like yes, because the Syriza will have to have very big losses in the confidence vote coming in a week, and if this is the case, Tsipras has no other alternative because he will have to have a minority, very weak government under very difficult political and social circumstances, and he needs the opposite. He needs a strong government to go on with the conditions and the memorandums and the austerity packages, because what is in the deal finally is more austerity on the austerity we had since 5-6 years now.
What do you think, though, would be the most likely outcome of an election from what you know right now?
Well, Tsipras is the master of the game for the time being, so I think he will win again with a large majority. And his opponents, both inside and outside the party, they have no figure to challenge Tsipras. Tsipras remains very popular also in the national polls. He has support of something like 70%, which is unprecedented for Greece anyway, but also under it's remarkable under those circumstances and the problems economy is now facing. People are supporting Tsipras because they have seen that despite the defeat in his effort to change the rules of the game, he tried honestly to do that. He remained, loyal to his promises to have a better deal. He negotiated very hard. He tried very hard, and this is, is seen as a very positive sign. If you take into account that the other politicians in the past, the ex-prime ministers, once they were in power, they abandoned all their electoral promises. Tsipras tried very hard. This is acknowledged by the audience, by the citizens.
Is he really likely, though, as you seem to be suggesting, to romp home with a substantial majority, given the extent of the attrition within his own party and from what we've seen on the votes on the bailout?
Now what we have seen is that within the party there are a lot of negative votes, but this does not represent a similar split within the society or even the voters of Syriza. So it's just an ideological fraction within the party, which is sticks to its ideas and ideology, but they don't represent a significant amount of the percentage of the voters, and they have no figure, a prominent politician, to challenge Tsipras.
You talk about ideological differences. Looking from the outside, a lot of people would say that Yanis Varoufakis' departure from the scene and from the negotiating team was a turning point in terms of making the deal possible. What's your own view?
Well, you know, Varoufakis probably he has made some personal mistakes, you know, and his style was a little different than the style politicians have. But you know, he was used mainly as a pretext by the creditors not to achieve a deal. They played Varoufakis' card to, you know, to play with the time, and the time was passing, and the Greece was more, and the government was more and more under very heavy pressure. The error of Varoufakis was that he did not realize soon enough that his style and his way of behavior were used by the creditors in order to sabotage a deal. That's his mistake. Now he's out of the game. This was one of the moves Tsipras made in order to make clear that he wanted the deal. So immediately after the referendum, Varoufakis resigned after the no in the referendum and the victory of the government. He resigned to give to the creditors a very clear idea that he wanted Tsipras to make a deal. But and this it became obvious at the time that Varoufakis was used as a pretext, because even after his departure, creditors remained very tough, even tougher than before the referendum and the departure of Varoufakis.
You were critical in the past of the lack of support for Greece, not least from Ireland, which seemed to side itself much closer to, if you like, the Berlin faction than the more dovish members of the Euro group. Looking back now, what's your view?
Well, I think that we wanted more solidarity, not only from Ireland, but also from of course, from Ireland and from the other countries of the south of Europe, and like Portugal and Spain, they are suffering the same consequences of this austerity program that benefits only to the rich countries of the north. And we wanted also some more solidarity from France and Italy. They are facing similar problems, and they will have the same fate as Greece and Ireland and Portugal and Spain in the near future. Unfortunately, this was not the case. You know, the young people from Ireland and Greece and the other countries of the south are leaving their countries. This is an unbelievable brain loss. Greece's education system and the Greece state, and I believe the same goes for Ireland and the other countries, they are paying very much for their young people to be educated in their countries, and then this very dynamic, very skilled personnel is leaving to go to Holland or Germany. You know, and this is a strategic defeat, a strategic damage for all of us. And this is not taken, of course, into account when we're talking about deals, etc. But it undermines our future. You know, some countries are, I think, the rich countries, they are now dominating Europe. They are doing that on purpose. I think they are receiving, you know, without paying any €1, they are receiving very young and talented people, you know, and this is one of the main reasons, to my view, that solidarity among us is very much needed and is necessary.
Stelios, thanks very much for talking to us.
Okay, goodbye.
Thank you, goodbye.
Thank you.